Hey, so John has a cool idea for our pairing session about uh, tackling something to do with the page-specific bundle CSS stuff, which has been going crazy smoothly so far with no hiccups or issues.
If only. But thanks to IP and Sarah and Simon, most of the issues have been resolved. So yeah, we actually we've got some fresh instructions on how to migrate a page. Um, Lots of issues with dark mode and utility specificity kind of like have been sorted out. Um, but essentially, what we currently have, as a recap for those that might not be familiar, is all of these kind of like page specific, well, they're not all page specific, but like these files are all concatenated into our application CSS, and which means we throw this big bundle of styles to the browser. Now, some of these are more impactful than others. We look at projects, for instance, at 24K, and some are minor. A bunch of them I've been able to actually just kill off because they weren't being used anymore, or I was able to just use utility classes to kind of like apply the same styling to the markup directly. Um, but we have quite a few left, and some of these larger ones that will give us actual meaningful kind of like impact in our performance scores are quite complex and difficult. And my understanding of the code base is still nascent. Like I've just started getting really my hands dirty with code base,
Yeah,
um, and I was hoping we could maybe look at tackling one of these
yeah,
bigger ones and see how far we can get with it.
yeah,
I'm fairly familiar with the process now, so I can help navigate the journey and what issues we might run into. But there's definitely things that I don't necessarily always understand about the code base, and having some help around from team members who are actively in there every day will definitely be helpful.
yeah. That sounds awesome. I know projects is going to be really tough because
Yeah,
I would imagine that there's a lot of styles there. The reason it's so big is because there's probably not a lot of page specific styles as much as it's like anything inside a
yeah.
project, and kind of everything's inside a project. um, so correct me if I'm wrong, but and Elena, you've been reviewing some MRs like this. But when I review these MRs, I'm seeing, have we moved anything to a page specific style that is used outside of that page? Because if we have, we've probably broke how something looks. Um, is there anything else kind of that you're looking for, Elena, for these kind of MRs?
Mm, uh, today I was wondering like how deep we want to go on the improvement, like like there are styles that we could replace with utility CSS, or like improve something, or should it be the scope of this like this change, or we should just create follow up and do it in some other MR?
Yeah, I think that's that's the other part of it. A lot of these files, have basic sizing and spacing, styles that they apply, and can and should be converted to utilities using utilities. And like I've mentioned a couple, I actually submitted an MR earlier today for was to do. Gosh, I can't even remember now. But oh, it was in the project graph page, um, and it had about 20 lines of CSS that I could just rip out and use
Yeah,
utility classes. So I would imagine that we probably find a lot of those scenarios in the non-page specific CSS files we have here,
mm,
because I imagine there's quite a lot of generic type styling that's probably just going in there, and that's probably
yeah,
where we also have the biggest risk of styles that have been bleeding through to other areas,
Mm.
and styling that might be dependent on something in a specific file that isn't necessarily specific to a page. And so that's the tricky part of some of these. They're not really actually they're not scoped well. They're not
Yep.
like the ones I have tackled, I've made sure that they were minor and scoped.
That rocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's yeah, there is it's a you have to be really careful, especially because there's no automated testing here. So it really does require a QA process that everyone can check. If we care about preserving user experience, which we do. So yeah, I personally would put these in two different buckets: moving styles that are truly page specific, and then removing styles altogether with utility classes. I personally, if I was reviewing something, I would like to see that in two different MRs, because I think I think that is, to me, those are two different efforts, and it's nice to put. It's very possible to put that in two different boxes. But yeah, let's pick one of those and just start whacking at it. Were you already in the middle of whacking one, or did you want to just
No,
pick one while we're here?
I don't have one in progress. I was thinking,
Do you want to drive, Sean?
No, I was actually going to suggest maybe we tackle one from your group.
Oh, sure.
There's a tree SCSS and editor SCSS that we could probably move out. And
is there a snippets one?
Mm.
Can you share this link? I don't.
Yeah, let me share it quickly on Zoom.
And Orlena, do you want to drive? I don't have to drive if someone else wants to drive. Or
no,
okay.
I don't. Yeah.
That's all right. Let me. And Mark's not even sharing his camera, so I'm not talking to him. I'm joking, Mark. I'm sorry. Let me see if there's a snippets one. No, there's not a snippets one. Yeah, there's merge requests kind of thing would be interesting. I don't know if there's. I'm technically in the editor group. Ours is, we probably had everybody beat because we have our IDE specific page, and I think we had our IDE specific style that isn't loaded everywhere else.
That's right.
I know.
I misjudged. I thought you were knowledge for some reason.
But
it's all create, so it doesn't matter.
I know. And at the end of the day, it's all GitLab. So so there you go. Commits might be interesting. That might be one that I have a little bit of experience knowing where this one might show up. So commits might be interesting. Let's pick another one just so we can have some to choose from.
Maybe MergeConflicts. That might be fairly straight.
Yeah, that's a good idea. MergeConflicts. There's an issue to actually remove this feature. So that's a funny. There's some history there too. So
I had a look earlier at merge requests, and it was just too. I was just not comfortable enough with in terms of my understanding of the code base to tackle that one.
Yeah, that one's going to be. I think that would be tough. Another one I was thinking that might be fairly doable would be labels, because that sounds like that we shouldn't have a lot of styles here. Because I imagine this is just supposed to be the page for labels, but I think in reality, there's probably a lot of styles here for how we do labels everywhere, and we might need to find a better place for that to live. So I would suggest doing commits would be interesting. Labels, I think MergeConflicts is a good choice. What do you think?
Well, seeing that MergeConflicts might be removed, it might be nice to actually pull it out and have it separate.
Yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to be removed, but there's just
whatever might happen with it.
Yeah, we'll see. That's one approach to removing the CSS, is you could just remove the feature altogether, and then we don't need to load the styles anymore. Let me check out master, because I was I'm not in the middle of doing anything. I just getting something fresh. Let me make sure I have this thing running because it'd kind of be nice to visually test it. Oh, and while I'm doing this though, I realize on a side note, and I moved my terminal over to a screen I'm not sharing because every time I start my computer, I have to do this little song and dance of setting my, configuring my etc hosts file with my new IPv6 address. For some reason, I can't get IPv6 to like be a static address.
Wow.
I don't know anything about what I'm talking about right now. So all I know is that I have to do this every day.
You should set up like a cron job or something like that to automatically update it, right?
That's a freaking good idea, Mark. I really should. But you know, it really only just takes me 30 seconds every day.
There's an XKCD comic I'd like to point you to.
Yeah, I know. You're making some good arguments.
You stepped into that one, Paul.
What do we need source control for? We only do merge day once a month. All right, I have updated my etc hosts, so I can bring this back. I don't think there's anything secret there, but I don't know what I don't know. Okay, run all of that. I have the latest thing running, and we're talking about merge conflicts.
Yeah.
Merge conflicts. Okay. Oh, nice. Look at all these.
Oh, wow.
Look at all these CSS variables. Oh, these aren't CSS variables. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
So this might not be a page specific thing. This might have to do with, it might, I don't know. This might actually have to do with like how we do diffs and like, anyways, let's see. That would be interesting. But yeah, because you see some fancy things here like diff line num and header line content, but all of it is coming from this mix and color scheme. Are we using this mix and, oh, we have, okay, and we use this if we do anywhere we have this conflicts. Yeah, and it's all scoped in here. So this is a great example.
Yeah.
So things I want to double check is conflicts, this ID, used anywhere else? And I want to see if this mixin's used anywhere else. Are mixins kind of just, oh yeah, it looks like it's not used anywhere else. Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Beautiful.
This is a good choice. I don't even need to know really what's going on here because I don't. I just need to look for the ID conflicts anywhere. Oh, I don't need to escape that. Over here in merge request conflicts, and then the merge request conflicts bundle. So I'm looking for the Haml hashtag conflicts thing, but I guess we could also set the ID by just doing like ID equals conflicts or something.
Well, the Haml file did show up there.
It did. I want to double check that we're not like.
Okay.
And I'm going to get a number of false positives here, but I'm not super concerned about it. I'm looking at these false positives and I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to start with a word. So I'm going to start with something that's not a word character. And yeah, so I think that's the only place. This is going to be we're going to get this resolved so fast.
We're going to do a second one.
Oh man. Or we can just revel in like, yeah. Cool. So yeah. So what was the process again?
Right. So if you go to that epic that I shared with you, you'll see the description right at the top. So Okay, pick an issue. First step is obviously figure out where it is
Yeah,
being used.
I'm realizing I skipped step 1. We'll keep going. Okay. Figure out where it's used.
Actually, grab the issue
Okay.
because these exact same instructions are in there.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I'm not even logged in. I'm gonna have to stop sharing my screen again. I'm just starting my day, everybody.
It's okay. You're forgiven. What is the time by you, Paul?
The time that I'm in Central Time, so it's 9-ish right now. Oh gosh.
So are there like 3 main time zones in the US?
There are
Eastern,
like
Central, and Western.
I think there's like 5 actually. Like there's some at the very ends, but I might be wrong about that. I might have revealed some classic U.S. ignorance.
Well, I mean, ignorant of your own country is okay, I guess.
You're right. It stops there. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again because I have logged in. I did foolishly type in my 1Password password into my GitLab password box, so I might have to do some password resetting later. Anyways, figure out, oh, here's the one. Great. Okay, we've assigned it to everybody. We're all taking this on. Oh yeah, even Mark, because he's in lurking mode. Okay. Figure out, move the file from app assets pages to page bundles. So here's the path. I'm going to move this from pages and we're going to go to page bundles. Page bundles. Have you seen the syntax before? I learned this a couple of months ago. So it like expands out to 2 different arguments, one using pages and one using page bundles. So I'm moving from pages to page bundles.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty some bash fanciness.
Joining the session was worth it just for that.
Nice. Remove it from page specific files. Okay. Oh, I love these epics that just tell me what to do. MergeConflicts. It's removed. Okay. Add the file to config application RB. Here we go. And I imagine we have some page bundles living somewhere here. Sweet.
There we go.
IJKLME. It would go here. It's called MergeConflicts. Add page-specific style to all handle templates you've identified that are using these styles. Sweet. That was in the MergeConflicts show, which had this thing. Do we have, oh look, here's page-specific JavaScripts.
Yeah, so we created a new helper for page-specific style sheets.
Yeah, I'm gonna do for page-specific style. Yeah, it looks like this.
Yep.
Cool. I'm just gonna copy this. And it's MergeConflicts. Available once this lands, which means it is available.
Yep.
Use CSS variables. Oh no! I don't know. Well, I mean, there's lots of colors going on, but.
Well, I mean, maybe if we look at those mixins that was in that file, we might be able to
check it
I
out.
feel like since this is for like diff syntax highlighting, if I'm not mistaken, then dark scheme mode won't affect it anyway, right? Because this is like syntax highlighting.
I think you're right. You might be right. I think you are right. I also wonder, like, is this, and maybe we've identified something to help us like clarify this. Is this for like new CSS I'm introducing, or is this identified as this is important as part of this migration? I need to also migrate things to CSS variables, or is this only for like if I'm doing new stuff?
No, this was for existing stuff as well. So if it was using, like the gray 500 variable, for instance.
I see.
So if you go to, what's one we did recently? You'll see we introduced CSS variables, and the CSS variable is then used for dark mode.
Let's test it out in dark mode and see what it looks like. And yeah, we might need, I see what we're saying now is because previously, because it was part of the whole application bundle, we would load application or application dark, and that resets the CSS variables. But now this is in its own thing. It doesn't know if it's dark or light. So we're using CSS variables for that. I get it. And I see us
the fallback, so we use the fallback feature so that the light or normal mode is specified as the fallback color, and so if dark mode variables are loaded, it will use that. If not,
Cool.
it uses the standard.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, let's test it out. I've never run dark mode, so I'm excited also see that out. So we'll test that out, and that's a good call. Okay, we have a bus factor of 1. Okay, we're at step 4 to make sure that this kind of works and dark mode works. So cool. I have it running now. So this is why I had to do the whole IPv6 thing. If you try to do a .local on a MacBook, like if you try to add this as an alias host for some IP address or something, apparently MacBook thinks you're like trying to talk to like Bonjour service, and like all requests take like 10 extra seconds. And I was like, what? So I was like, okay, I could do like something different, but I really wanted it to work with .local. But if you specify your IPv6 address, then Mac is able to understand that. But apparently my IPv6 address changes every time I start my computer. So yeah.
I'm glad I stuck with the README's recommendation of gdk.test.
No, I really wanted.
I've had a really slow local experience without knowing why.
Well, I tried also doing, and so here's another thing. I tried doing like GitLab.localhost. This is interesting because some browsers automatically see .localhost as, oh, you mean 127.0.0.1, and we're not going to listen to your IP address at all. We're not going to try to, for whatever reason, I don't know. And I needed to actually mount to the specific IP address because I have like other containers and stuff listening to it. So anyways, I'm ranting about my own problems. Do you know if there's a merge request that already has like merge conflicts or something?
No.
Okay. We'll create one if we don't see it. Maybe cannot be automatically merged sounds like one.
It would be very useful.
Yes. Oh, flip-flops. Well, it's a good thing we tested this out. Okay.
I just want to. It feels like there's a step missing with regards to, unless this has not become needed anymore. But we used to include the mixins and variables in the actual page bundle file. I don't know if the recent changes to that IP makes that not needed anymore. I'm just double checking quickly on my side.
And I think what I think that might have gotten replaced with this bit.
No, it's still there on other files. I think the instruction is missing.
Well, I
So-
imagine we don't want to do that. We really want to use CSS variables here, like by default, because we don't want to use our SCSS variables. We want to use.
No, but so if you look at some of the other page bundle CSS files, you'll see it has an import at the top of the file.
Okay.
Your file doesn't have.
But I wonder if that was the old. That was like, oh, that's not a good one.
I know. Yeah, Milesons will see that one.
Yeah. Maybe we just need to do this. Let's do it. One thing I know, like, and Elena or Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, we don't want to use the CSS variable here because I'm in like syntax highlighting theme white, right?
What is this? There's a colors hash, is it? Okay. And how is this colors hash used?
That was a question I was like, I don't need to know the answer to this one. It looks like you kind of you use it down here in this mix-in.
Yeah, and it's interestingly, it's calling darken as well.
Oh, you're right.
That's just not going to work with CSS variables. So,
oh, yeah. And that's not even going to work with our whole. We shouldn't call it darken and lighten. Like, we need to actually have specific colors for these things, I think. That's interesting.
Who suggested picking this file? This was a bad choice.
I don't think it's that bad. I think nobody uses. Some people use this feature.
It's a good one to choose because it actually highlights a potential issue.
But this should work now, right? Now that you've imported the mix and variables.
The only question is, does it look worse in dark mode?
I'm going to go for the optimistic choice and say it's going to look awesome.
Okay, I'm feeling your vibes over here, Mark. So I feel good.
Does anybody recall the TV show Darkwing Duck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Every time somebody mentions dark mode, I just think of Darkwing Duck for some reason.
Does the theme tune go in your head?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
What is your problem here? Did I do this right? Oh no, no, that's right. Did I do?
Could you show the error please again?
Yes, sorry. It's failing here when it's trying to add a page-specific style because this is the error message, I guess.
Doesn't seem very helpful.
No. Let me double check I'm doing this in maybe the right spot. Add page specific style. Like if I do to-dos here. I don't know. Do we just throw it anywhere? I guess so. Yeah, there it is at the top. Well, style sheet link tag defer. Why would it? Content for, are you not able to load it? Let me see if I could just ping it from, let me see if I get like a 404 or something if I just try to hit it from here. Maybe I need to restart my GDK because it didn't pick up. You think so? Because it didn't pick this up?
Oh, you know what? Yes, because there was a task IPU used to run every time we changed this to do the compilation.
Okay.
The rec task.
All right. No, that's good. So I'm gonna just do restart Rails, I guess.
That should be fine.
Let me open up some. Let me check on some statuses here. Looks like Rails and Rails Web are both running. Okay, which is great. Rails is doing stuff. You know, this is gonna have problems now. Okay, I have a cool. I think that's it. Yeah, it'll keep pinging GitLab until it's ready. I have a cool little script that does that. It usually takes like 20 dots. It usually takes 20 dots or so.
What does it do? Does it print out when it's done?
It actually does a Mac notification when it's done, which is really nice because I get distracted easily. But the downside is my Mac notifications are over here, and this is my main screen. So
Yeah.
I kind of needed to like turn my computer on and off or something.
Should make it ping, make a sound or something.
I know. You know, I haven't considered it till just now, but maybe like violently adjusting the brightness, like maybe nice. Okay, boom. Merge conflicts. Resolve the conflicts. Oh, please work. Okay, brilliant. Great. We loaded things. Oh, that looks as good as I've ever seen anything look. We'll go.
Open a new tab. Yeah. That's right.
How do I go dark mode? Oh, is it something I set here?
Preferences.
Yeah, preferences.
Sweet.
It's in the color schemes section, right at the top. Yeah, the last option.
Oh, you see how this changed? Now this is interesting. Did you see what happened here? Yeah. I did have like one of these other colors selected, and once I selected this, it saved it. But because I don't have that dark CSS loaded, it doesn't look like it's there yet. But anyways, that's just an interesting thing. I was gonna take a screenshot. Oh well. Cool. Awesome. That looks good, right? So let's try these other syntax highlighting things. I don't need to save it. Is this always saving?
I believe so. Yeah.
Is that, these numbers look weird, or maybe they're supposed to look weird.
Well, change to side by side.
Yeah. I think you're right. I was making sure that there weren't like a number that wasn't missing. But that looks fine, right? And I chose white anyway, so. That looks great. I think none is the one that I'm a little interested in. Yeah, do we know what files look like with none by default? Maybe I should go check out a blob. Ooh, that's so fancy. You see that black text kind of like that's so cool. I guess it's the loading bar. It's not text, right? It's the loading bar or something. Yeah, that looks as good as anything. Yeah. So but is that what's expected with none? Am I not even going to see like the conflict highlighting?
Well, yeah. Well,
let me
just style sheet. What the style sheet does, or turn off dark mode.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out without dark mode and see if that does it.
This might be a pre-existing bug.
Yeah, it looks like if you do none, you really mean none. Yeah. But look at how pretty this is. Uh-oh. Is that what it's like on .com?
You said MergeConflicts is getting removed, right? So I guess it's not gotten much love.
I spread some gossip. There was a community contribution to remove the feature, but clearly product and UX and GitLab, we don't want to remove it. We want to make it better. there are some issues with this page. That's the context. No, it's not getting removed. Hopefully not. I don't know. There is an issue about it, but I don't think it's going.
Well, they should look at the actual stats if it's being used.
That is a good point. We should.
It shouldn't be opinion based. It should be data based.
Yeah, sometimes people have opinion on data.
Data doesn't have an opinion on people, at least.
No. This is true. Let me, what I'm now really curious about is if on master or on .com, if I have none and I have a merge conflict, do I have the same issue?
Well, maybe you can just stash your changes and then
that's a good idea.
It. Yeah.
Is it going to cause problems because I did this precompile thing? Am I going to have to restart the GDK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
Try without first. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Okay, I'm going to just commit this, and then I'm actually, because and then I'm going to actually just revert my commit.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, just watch out. Yeah, added the structure.
You're right, and you're right. That was a good point. I will get rid of that. Thank you for identifying that. But I've reverted my commit now, so this is going back. Well,
actually, it shouldn't moan because we're essentially just. Well, no, it might moan because it might look for something that's no longer there.
But I think precompile is just something that's just looked at startup, which is why we had to restart in the first place. So
maybe.
But it might be missing everything now because well, no, it should be fine. I think it should be fine. We'll see. I like this buzz cut that our file headers have. Looks like it got a little close there.
Might have actually drawn blood.
Oh man. All right, this is taking a long time. I guess because it's having to rebuild the whole application CSS.
Here we go.
Nope, it's just as funky. So
yeah,
I will take a picture of this as a known issue. And that's going to be a really wide picture. So let me. Yeah. Okay.
What do those buttons even say?
It says use ours.
Oh, and use theirs.
Yeah. And there's actually a lot of confusion. The reason why, so I brought up this gossip. I need to close it. It looks like we're not really clear on if we do this or if we automatically do a resolve or whatever. Sometimes it ends up merging master into your work branch, and that can actually cause issues for some Git workflows. And that was not obvious. And that's why some users were like, I don't want my developers being able to do this because it was causing issues or whatever. But that's a totally different conversation. I don't happen to have the issue number because it was a while ago. But I'm glad we're tackling this view because it's gonna bring it up, and we'll have to reconsider and look at data. And it's like, hey, is this being used? It's worth asking that question. Okay, but we're actually good. So I'm
asking if no color syntaxing is actually being used.
That's a good point. Kai's actually looked in. I think Kai looked into this. Yeah, it's like 90% the default, like 10% dark, and then it's like significantly small percentage these other ones. But
that's the trouble with adding features. Is you got to keep maintaining every single feature you add.
Yeah. I think that like with things like CSS variables and like it should help us be able to add themes like really, and even like, you know, I could have an extension that adds a theme, like, and that kind of thing is really nice. I like, and it should make it maintainable.
It's maybe a good idea. Even like drop the unnecessary themes from the product, but make an extension available.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice. I've thought about side notes since we're talking about things, and I feel like I've done a lot of talking. I'm sorry about that. How cool would this be? So, you know, like we've done Git pod integrations and like source graph integrations and stuff. And we have to maintain this integration code. What if in our console here or something, like what if we exposed like an integration API so that when someone wants to create a browser extension, rather than having to be like coupled to like a certain element on the page or whatever, we had something like, oh, I want to add an editor button. And I'm just going to run, like we had an actual just extension API that we maintained. And we didn't have to maintain all the specific integrations. Someone just, oh, I'm just going to install this extension. And here's how we add editor buttons, or here's how we do this, or whatever. This is a crazy, not crazy idea that was brought up a couple times.
That moves. That's in the thinking of making GitLab a platform rather than just a product. And that's actually quite powerful. What would Slack be if it wasn't a platform for Slack bots and stuff like that?
Yeah,
it would just be chat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyways, Roman was looking into, I think he's created an issue about that. I'll share that on our front end thread. That'd be something interesting to do. Anyways, here's the changes. We've tested it all the way up. Oh, I was curious about none, but looks like all these other ones are gonna kind of work the same. So I think we're done.
Yeah.
It looks good in dark mode. It's pretty good. So cool. Did I miss anything?
Oh, we probably might have like E styles and like C styles of this. I remember there was a step that you have like different styles for C and E.
What did you say, Elena?
Like there could be styles for enterprise edition, like separate. So you should like, this is this point about the specific styles. So you should also move them to page bundles on the EE folder.
Oh, is there an EE folder here?
Well, if it was like you.
Oh, got it. If there was one like that, got it.
Yeah, but it was. I don't know, was it?
Oh gosh. Oh wait, yeah, but that's not the case here. I don't think so. Cool. All right, I'll commit this. Move MergeConflicts to page specific.
Before we do that, Paul, don't you just want to double check that there's no other color values in that MergeConflicts, and it's only the theming color values?
That's a good point. That's a really good call. Let me do this by doing a search for. How can I do this?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that was a good call. So these CSS variables I've been hearing about, I do something like var.
Yeah.
White.
It's GL. I think it's GL. Oh, let me double check. I think we look at yeah. No, look at the variables. Was it variables or I can't remember the file. Maybe.
Oh, here we go. Here's the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, so we only have like one for text color. Oh, here's white.
Here's white, yeah.
So correct me if I'm. All right. It feels weird. Like for dark mode, we're gonna redefine white. Anyways, I get it though.
There's a whole video where IP and I have this discussion as well. how white is not white in dark mode.
That's funny. This is why those buttons aren't visible. We could try to solve that problem, but
you also need to add the normal white variable as the fallback there, not just use the CSS variable.
Oh, like this or whatever it was before.
Yes.
Like this.
Correct.
That rocks. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can
So
see
now if white, the CSS variable is defined, you will use it. Otherwise, it falls back to
that rocks. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna look for, it's green 300.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Discard changes alert. Okay. You increase the scope, Jean.
Sorry. And also, if there is no gray light, we should check what gray light's value is and use the appropriate variable going forward.
That makes sense. So let's do that. So here I am looking for gray light is gray 50 and dark world.
Yeah. Yep.
So in dark world, we set gray light to gray 50. So I should do gray 50?
No, we should look what gray light is in normal world mode. So that's FA. So we need to find whatever gray range is closest to that.
Gray 10?
Well, gray 10. There we go.
Okay.
One complication, don't we import variables from GitLab UI which can override the default set in GitLab? Is that the way it's structured? I can't remember where we are in that migration.
I thought GitLab had the final say, but you're saying GitLab UI has the final say?
No,
Yeah,
I think that's,
especially since
that specificity issue was resolved recently in actually just look up.
That's a good point. I think for gray light specifically, that's one that's not going to be in, because I don't think we use. This is an old. Oh, we can search for it. Let's.
Yeah, I just did, and I didn't find it in GitLab UI. So
for gray light specifically, we're probably okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, you're making a good point now, because anything which is like not the GL or green 300, anything that doesn't come into that sort of pattern won't be in GitLab UI anyway. So shouldn't be.
Cool. So we're looking for GL text color as a thing.
So yeah, it is. Shouldn't we replace that gray light there to its gray 10 variable?
That makes sense. I mean, it previously was gray light, but I think that's a good.
Well, yeah. So the thing we have done with some other MRs in the past is we have normalized things to not use these specific names and actually use the right color shade values that we want to use going forward.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Cool. I think that's all of them. Thankfully, this is a small one. Oh man. All right. We can't get rid of MergeConflicts now. Let's check it out. And I guess I want to check out some of these in the dark mode. I want to check out the discard changes alert. If I start changing something and then try to leave, I guess it does something. So that looks pretty. Let me go ahead and go back to dark mode. Okay. That looks pretty. Let me do some editing in line. Okay. Just get cancel, I guess. Nope. There's no alert there. It just canceled it.
It's surprising how much dead CSS is in our code base as well.
How much what?
Earlier today. dead CSS that's no longer used. I just killed like 100
Yeah.
lines of code earlier.
No, that's a good point. This might not be used anymore. I don't know how I could. Oh, here we go. Ah, look how pretty that is. It's dark mode. Sweet. I'm happy. And I bet it looks. This is a good catch on. I was about to skip steps and was like, okay. But if I start doing this and I go back to interactive mode, light mode.
Perfect.
That's awesome. I'm happy. All right, I feel like we're good. Do you feel like I've missed anything else?
No, this feels like all the steps that are
Cool.
used to.
Is this everything and you were hoping for, Jean?
Well, this and more,
Oh,
you
cool.
gave me more. You
That's
gave me some bash tips and stuff. So
I love when we all get together and we pair on something, and just because we work in these, it's kind of like a physical silo, and we're doing that dibs training, and I think that we have, even though I can have a diverse and inclusive attitude, unless we actually take the effort to like have this, I think, sync up conversations, interactions, like it's easy for someone not to feel this belonging bit. And that really, I think, contributes to, I know the rest of my day is always, my Fridays are my favorite day because they start like this. Yeah. So thanks for hopping on.
Yeah. I have these 2 issue refinement sessions in my calendar that I just jump. I keep a Zoom window open if anybody in my team wants to join me, and it's always nicer when they join me and we talk together about it. And
yeah,
totally
that's awesome. Also moves color variables to CSS variables for dark mode support. Cool. Well, I'll create this merge request. I'll ping you all. Elena or Mark, do you guys feel like being a maintainer for this?
I feel like this has gone through code review at least 4 times. So somebody can probably do a maintainer review and push the merge button.
Or do you guys feel like you've touched it too much and you should be?
Yeah, maybe someone else can check.
Okay.
Like I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know.
That's awesome. Sometimes I pair with people and I'm like, okay, but you create the MR and ping me as a maintainer. So I'm joking, but. All right.
No, you're not.
No, Mark knows I'm not really joking. Cool. Well, that's about it. We have 3 more minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and just create the merge request. And I guess I need to check out an actual branch first. This was the issue. Move merge conflicts to page bundle. Sweet. Sweet.
All right. I'm going to jump. Thank you,
Cool.
Paul.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And our web performance stats, thank you as well.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Thanks for bringing this up. And it was good working on this one. See ya.
Cheers, Mark. Cheers, Len.
Thank you both. Thank you all. I mean,
Same
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Bye.
cheers, bye.